Hi, I'm Daniel, and I am finally ranking the 11 films by Illumination Entertainment. For context, throughout the last year, I got loads of comments asking for ranking Illumination films, mainly by one user. But I wanted to wait for Sing 2 to come out. Well, it wasn't just that. I also wanted to make videos on both Minions and Sing, but they deserve their own video before talking about it briefly in the list. There are still other Illumination films I could make 4 videos on, but for now I can rank the films of this extremely overhated animation studio. They make mostly good films that are better than most other mainstream animation studios, but it's hated more for being more successful. These films aren't gonna be for everyone, but I don't like when people act like it's the worst thing ever, when the Illumination are better than studios like Blue Sky when that was a thing. Only picture animation even though they're improving, and even DreamWorks sometimes. This is just my opinion, but the studio deserves way more than it's given in reviews. In money they have easy enough. So, 11 films ranked. When I first scripted most of this video, Sing 2 wasn't out, but it was out later. 11. The Secret Life of Pets 2. I don't think Illumination has had a properly bad film yet, with the worst being mixed. The story here is still an absolute mess. It tries to juggle 3 stories in a way that doesn't work for making it feel more than a subplot. The opening couple minutes is good for avoiding copying movie 1's plot with a baby this time. But then the main plot becomes generic by being a road trip where Max meets a mentor dog who teaches him to be more assertive. Picture parts seem like an episode of a show split up across other stuff, and honestly the whole movie seems like a television special. Snowball parts are great, but the rest is bland, and the end trying to combine the plots fails. Not bad, the animation and some of the comedy is fine, but it's their worst film. For a long time, their most recent. 10. Hop. This deserves props for being the only movie I know, but it somehow makes a new area for movies generic. It is like an adaptation of our own animated show pushed live action hybrid. It shares the other people behind the Alvin and Chipmunk movies. It's the only live action Illumination movie and sticks out in their catalogue of movies. Some parts are good, but the movie is average at best. 9. Despicable Me 3. Like Secret Pets 2 and other weak sequels, the main problem here is trying to force a side plot for all the side characters. Not much is done with them. Lucy is trying to be a step-parent, the minions being in prison, Agnes trying to find a real unicorn. It could be interesting ideas, but nothing comes of it. The main plot, while avoiding some tropes, throws you off for having a twin brother and travelling to see him. First thing that comes to mind is The Simpsons Season 2, but it just sounds like a sequel thing to do. It still isn't bad because Gru's character is great and the villain is decent, but it isn't good. It doesn't feel that Despicable Me, and I can imagine people who aren't as interested in the rest of this franchise as me forgetting this even existed. I liked this movie when I first saw it, but it slowly went down in quality across a couple years to averageness. 8. Sing 2. I just reviewed this, but my main takeaway is there's no Eddie. That should be enough, but I'll elaborate a bit. It's the first movie so far on the list I call good, but it has a lot of problems making it flawed. Parts of it work like the great animation and the stuff with Highway. Could have been way better, but also could have been a lot worse. 7. The Secret Life of Pet. At first I thought it was one of the best animated films ever, and while it's gone down the yacht, I still really like it. I like the universe created, the animation is great, it's quite funny, and manages to have subplots actually related and flow naturally, unlike its sequel. Other plots with Gidget and Snowball are great, but the problems tie to our main characters. First off, this isn't a Toy Story rip-off, it's a typical story that wasn't invented by that film, and Woody and Buzz are interesting characters who are very PR, even if it's just like the first one. However, Max and Duke are really bland, I don't buy their friendship at all. Also, although I don't think it's a direct rip of anything, it's a very unoriginal story trying to go home as two buddies. The great stuff stays really great, but overall, this is only good. 6. The Grinch. This is an example of an adaptation going far with changing things, so the changes make sense. Some parts are changed a lot, like making the Grinch more sympathetic and how it most be planning to steal Christmas, but for this it worked. They couldn't make a film with the same sense of stealing Christmas as the original story good, without adding things, and the peak moments here are great. There are problems like part of the original message being taken away, like consumerism and giving a backstory removes no one knowing why. But it replaces these things. I'll have to talk about this movie in more detail eventually, probably not until Christmas, which just happened. At least it's way better than the live action Grinch, that film is awful. 5. Despicable Me 2. We are getting into great movies like this that works in continuing the first movie. The art of the film is just funny, and it is good at giving something for Gru to do now the title doesn't really work. He becomes a spy, and while El Macho is a weak character, it's entertaining. The main point is the girls accept Marco getting sidelined. Despicable Me 2 is still really great in 2013. Year 1 Montreal University, the only other mainstream animated film above okay. 4. The Yorak. This film is very overhated and I don't just like it as a meme. It's an amazing movie, most of the time. Ignoring the fandom, they want a superb character by giving a face and personality to eventual big businessmen, making him more relatable. The original Yorak special is only average, because making the one to your faces makes him seem unhuman, and him regretting what he did is more forced. While the movie does have Oher as a one-dimensional villain, it causes a great contrast. Yorak is also a superb character for how he speaks to the trees and can also argue the one-tier. Their interactions completely make the movie. I don't think the added Ted wraparounds is bad, but it could be better. Another thing, the songs are really catchy, and the film has nice animation. It could have been exceptional if it does more stuff like the cut song Biggering, but on its own stands a movie that I really enjoy to watch. 3. Sing. Okay, 2 of the top 3 I already went over in Death and Nicest videos, so I'll glance through them. This film has a great story, world, music incorporation, and characters that are really interesting. Realness the Buster story felt the film adds to it, making Sing amazing. In fact, so amazing I went over it for 18 minutes already, so next. 2. Despicable Me. Superb start to the studio. Not everything here is great like the scene when the minions go to a grocery store, and although it's a mild part of the movie, they are reveal. Also, as much as I love Vector comedy-wise, he isn't a good villain. However, this film is yet by 3 things in my opinion. First, most of the comedy is amazing and classically well written. In this film, it's a good thing to remember most of the movie. Second, the whole movie is about the bond of Gru and the girls, which is paced brilliantly, in a way you can tell Gru changing slowly. It's not just one scene where he changed his mind, like it was in Secret Pets. It's very nice to see Gru yearn to become a father figure in many memorable scenes. Third, the film is very good mood, which is something later Illumination doesn't do as much. Smaller scope and stakes makes it more enjoyably simple. And all of this is why Despicable Me is spectacular. 1. Minions. I was considering that Despicable Me might deserve the top spot more, but I had to give it to Minions. The video on it is still my most viewed video. The story isn't much on its own, but it's told in a surprisingly clever and entertaining way, with characters that are complex despite not having much understandable dialogue. The whole opening 30 minutes might be one of the best film parts as a whole, and the ending is also incredible. My biggest problem is that the middle dips a bit. It still has your great moments and is part of a really amazing movie. It gets way too much hate in my opinion, and Minions is the best Illumination entertainment film. In conclusion, it's finally here. I hope this video is worth the wait, because I think I managed to go through all films in the right amount of detail, but I still could expand on some of these. A video on the Yorax is probably going to come out in a couple of months. This studio gets too much hate just being more successful than others, and while I can understand not wanting to support the big ones, Disney is even bigger. And it's still a very new studio, which I hope makes more great films. I have mixed feelings preceding both Minions The Rise of Gru and the Mario movie, but they still could be great. Now, I don't have a high requested video. I could try ranking other animated studios like Alvin and Warner Bros. Animation, because I want to continue doing it, but not anytime soon. And there's another thing to end the video on. Sing 2 played another Minions The Rise of Gru trailer. But I think every time I see that trailer again it gets worse. It shouldn't even be Minions 2, just Despicable Me prequel. The end.